Sweet. Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Techology. I'm here with my friend Chris, and man, Chris, it is an honor to have you on the show, man. How are you doing,
dude? It is good to be on here. I'm doing well, man. Busy day, but I always make time to chill with you, man. How you been yourself?
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I've been good, dude. Just life, Salesforce stuff, and
Salesforce.
just enjoying myself.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, dude. Good, man. I love your story. Some people may not know, but Chris, when Chris was putting his YouTube video out, some of his early stuff, I was going to Coding Bootcamp, or I was deciding about Coding Bootcamp, and I was trying to figure out is technology for me and stuff like that. So Chris is, if you've never checked out Chris's channel, please do. Obviously there'll be links in the description and stuff below for you to click on and check out. But and his Twitch streams, he's just helping people all day. But anyways, man, I just wanted to say thank you for all your vulnerable moments in your car, by vending machines, you know what I mean? All those
times, man.
Just random moments you shared.
You know, it's crazy though, because even during those times, I did it just to help people. That's literally it, because I was struggling throughout my first 3 to 4 years as a developer myself. You know what I mean? So my goal was just to help as many people as possible. And I never thought that doing those things will lead me to where I am today. It is mind-boggling. Yeah. Someone with no degree that can make more than a doctor, that does make more than a doctor or a pharmacist. I'm not saying that to brag at all, but this is just where the world is going. You know what I mean? So
right.
I am so lucky. I spent 8 years of playing World of Warcraft rather than being a doctor or going to school to be a pharmacist. And then, you know what I mean? And learn code at the same time. So I'm really thankful.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, nerds are finally coming up, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's where it's at. But dude, for people that don't actually kind of know your story, walk us through a little bit, where you come from, talk us through from kind of beginning to where you're at now.
Yeah. I wonder where should I start? Well, one thing I like to start with was, I shouldn't be alive today, right? I was born in 6 months rather than 9. I was actually supposed to die the day I was born, but the doctor that specialized in surgery that I needed the day I was born was in that hospital that day, and he lives in Spain. He was in the hospital to do surgery on another kid, and I was there, and that's the reason I'm alive today, right? And because of that, I was born so early. My brain, it took longer for it to, what do you call that? To just mature or grow, right? For my brain to actually naturally grow like every other kid. So I had a speech impediment. I didn't know how to talk. Well, I learned really slowly and everything. I was in special ed until high school. So I rode that yellow bus with all those special kids that everyone made fun of. Yeah. Right. So people made fun of me a lot because of that, which feels good because now those same people ask me for advice. Right. But that was me. Right. I don't know how I graduated high school. I was supposed to drop out, but my teacher gave me a passing grade instead. So I can actually say I graduated high school, dropped out of 4 different colleges. Right. Try to be an electrician, try to be a nurse, try to do all these different things, failed at everything. And only at 27, I became a developer. Right. So that's me. I was homeless as well because I was so stubborn. I was the kid that felt like I deserved everything. I was prideful. I was spoiled, selfish. So I got kicked out of every single house I ever lived in, 5 or 6 houses, to the point where no one would take care of me. And because of that struggle of being homeless, being hungry, I believe that's what changed me to become the person I am today. Yeah.
Wow, dude. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. To start from zero. Yeah. And I love that story too, because it's a lot, there's this sort of picture in your mind, right? When you think about a developer, you think about this certain type of person. And I feel I feel like I don't fit that mold. And I feel like you probably feel the same way. And it's what do you think about that? For people that are I don't fit this mold. Should I head into technology?
I mean, I am not the brightest person out there. I'm not the best developer. I'm not the smartest developer. For many years, for let's say 3 years, if not 4, to be honest, of my 5-year career, I wanted to give up. I kept feeling like I was insignificant. I'm not good enough. But those were just all of my own thoughts. That was just all in my head, right? And now companies fight for me. Even though I'm a developer relations engineer for New Relic, there are companies of these products that we use at New Relic that are trying to reach out to me so I can be a developer advocate for them now, right? And that's crazy. and they're offering to pay a ton more. Right. So the fact that, you know, I'm hearing how those options, even though I don't think I myself am good enough, other people see me that way. So, yo, like, yeah, I'm not the best person out there, but yo, I just never gave up and I kept going. That's literally the only reason. I talked with Joshua Fluke about giving up, Coding Phase, 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞, Andres Vendoza, all these bigger people that people know about. I told them, I think I'll be done with all this. I think I might just go back to this normal life. But I kept going, even though I was this close to giving up. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, when you say giving up, do you mean like when you were learning, or do you mean like now?
Everything from YouTube, right? And from doing YouTube and second guessing if I should even remain as a developer, because it's not that I wasn't good enough, to be honest. I didn't get the leadership and the mentorship I needed at my first job as a developer when I was a junior. No one trained me. I taught myself everything. And of course, when I teach myself everything, I teach myself all the wrong things as a junior. Yeah. Right. So
I feel that.
Yeah. Sure. So that's what caused myself to grow slow, technically speaking. But I mean, I did catch up, but yeah, that was me. That's
awesome, man. So, before we jump even a little bit more, man, I got to ask you a hot seat question. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's one thing that if your grandma found out, it would shock her?
Well, my grandma if there's one person I could see again, it would be my grandma. That's not alive today. Okay. So yeah, if there's one thing that would shock her, being the most successful person
go back
in the
to middle
family.
School years, you know.
It would be, I'm the most successful person in the family right now, because I was a person that everyone went down on for 25, 27 plus years. Like, I was a person people thought that guy will do nothing with his life. Because I was playing World of Warcraft. You know what I mean? Counter-Strike every day. So, you know, and for me to just, in a matter of just 5 years, and just like explode, even I can't believe it. So that's one thing. And I'm not bragging. It's just, that's one thing that I would love to show her if she was alive today. Right?
Yeah. That's beautiful, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you got into technology. You kind of self-taught. Is that right?
Yep. Self-taught. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you didn't go to the Coding Bootcamp or anything like that.
I tried.
You know, is okay.
But I couldn't get approved a loan. But you know what's really funny though? The one bootcamp I wanted to go to 5 years ago is now reaching out to me, and they wanted to pay me to represent them.
Yeah.
So, Coding Dojo. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's where I got my start. Actually, I went to Coding Dojo.
Oh, no, they're actually legit. I looked at the curriculum. I'm not just saying it because they're paying me or anything, but they're actually pretty legit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I learned 2 full stacks there, and I want to talk to you about that actually. So, like, what do you think are the pros and cons of like this self-taught route, right? Because I'm talking to people all the time, and I'm like, you don't need to pay for Coding Bootcamp if you don't want to. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, but you've actually lived it, man. So like, tell me what's the pros and cons of this thing?
A bootcamp, it's expensive. No, I hate debt. So I hate debt with a passion. I don't want to be never in debt. When I buy my house, I want to pay for it in cash. Like, I hate debt. My car, I would pay in cash, everything. So like, I hate debt, but you know, to be honest, I hated boot camp for the longest time. Number one, because I was upset no one would accept me because I couldn't get approved loans. But secondly, I just didn't think it was worth it because I did it on my own. But not everyone, it doesn't work out for everyone that way. I think boot camps are worth it now, but it depends on the boot camp. Like, Coding Dojo is pretty legit. Lambda, hell no, don't go there, right? Any boot camp that says that I hate it when a boot camp says that when you graduate, they'll just take a percentage of your income for like 2 years, which is a lot of money. It could go up to like maybe $50,000, maybe. That's a lot of money for a boot camp. And they're taking off money from your paycheck after you pay taxes, right? So that's a lot. That's a big bump of your income. If you let's just say, this is what I think about a lot, because I went through the struggle of being paid really low as a developer, paid very undervalued. If you make $70K a year in California, you get paid $2,000 a month. $2,000 every 2 weeks, so it's about $4,000 a month, which is nothing, to be honest. After paying rent and everything, and people, they still want to take like say $500 off your check every paycheck. Dude, that's a lot of money. Like, you'll be struggling for years because of that. So I boot camps that do that, nah, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man. You know, one of the things that I tell people, like my own little brother, he's doing General Assembly right now, and I've been checking out their stuff. I'm super impressed at their stuff for sure.
Really?
And I actually work with Bethel Tech too, so that's another boot camp too that I would obviously recommend. I'm there all the time. So like, yeah. So, but one of the things I tell people, I'm like, and the reason I told my brother to go to Coding Bootcamp, I was like, tell me what your self-motivation level is. Like if you're the type of person that can like show up every day and like teach yourself something and have the grit to do that and the tenacity to like show up, which is kind of the story of your life, honestly. But if you can do that every day, then it's like, oh, you're going to be just fine. But if you can't, if you need someone to guide you, or you need something like over your head so that you'll actually do the homework and actually do the work, like you need to go to Coding Bootcamp. That's kind of how I feel. Yeah,
if you don't have the discipline to push yourself, a boot camp will help. But for people like me, even though, I mean, I have the discipline, but I also got really lucky to get a job in 3 months. 1 year would have been really tough for me to wait that long to get a job.
Right.
Even if I went to Coding Bootcamp, I would have dropped out because I just can't do school. I can't do anything with a teacher, anything education related, so I was very lucky. So a lot of what I learned was on the job. I barely use.
You know what's so funny, man?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is that like I feel like you teach every day. Like I've been on some of your Twitch streams and stuff like that. Like you, and even though you probably feel like you're stumbling through, dude, like I see the stuff that you're doing. Like people are literally getting like advice from you and talking with you and asking you questions, and you're teaching every day, you know. And that's so funny that you feel like you're like, that like I don't learn that way, but like you give out that way, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I don't do tutorials. I don't want to do tutorials. I mean, I'm working on one now, but the tutorial I'm working on, which is going to take a while, is to make sure that people never have to use a tutorial again. Like I want to put people who teach HTML, CSS, and JavaScript out of business. Because I want to make it in a way where people feel like I don't need Udemy anymore. I don't need Treehouse. I don't need Code Academy for the basic stuff when it comes to those languages. So that's my goal. Right. Because I feel like the way people create tutorials is that they make you come back so you buy more from them. I don't want to do that. I want to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man, it's a beautiful kind of career. So I have to ask you a question. If you're a self-taught dev, how the heck did you land your first gig, man? Like that feels like scary ground to me, you know?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, I got lucky, to be honest. So I'm Christian, right?
Okay.
And I was
me too.
the job I applied to is a Christian company, and because they're a Christian company, and I saw that they were applying for a senior developer, I figured maybe because they're a Christian company, if I show that, if they see how I am active in my church and everything, maybe they'll help me get me a job. I thought like that, right? So you have to do those things to help you get that position. So I actually called the company. I'm like, can I speak to the CEO? And they actually forwarded me to the CEO because the CTO who was the hiring manager, wasn't there that day. And so I met with the CEO the next day on a weekend when they're actually closed, and he hired me on the spot. But wow. I did start applying to jobs 3 months, about two and a half months in. So I made a goal every single day to apply to 3 to 5 jobs every single day. And after 2 or 3 weeks, that's when I got hired. I didn't apply to just one job a day. I didn't complain that no one was reaching out to me because I figured no one will hire me for at least a year. So I just took a chance and I got it.
That's amazing, man. That's super awesome, dude. Like, and a lot of people don't understand that. They think that like I have a portfolio or my resume looks good, and so like I'm just gonna apply to jobs. And it's like actually getting your first gig is tough, man. Yeah. Like from some of the coding, just from coding boot camps, right? Like I'm seeing some of the statistics I've seen are coding boot camp wide are about a 3% response rate. Right. So 3 out of every 100 jobs you apply to are actually going to call you to talk to you just to get you in the first step. Right. Of like, of what that looks like. And I'm like, yeah, so for sure, man. That's that's tough.
It's just the first interview you have is someone just trying to see if you're even qualified enough. You're not crazy. You actually have some personality. You won't mess up the culture. That's it. There's no coding interview in the first interview, and that's it. And hopefully you can get past that. So I think it's more than just technical skill too. It is soft skills matter when it comes to the tech industry now.
Yeah. I tell people like, hey, interviewing is a completely different skill. Like, and so you might be amazing at coding, but if you suck at interviewing, like you're not going to get a job. Like,
it's
so
true.
work on your interviewing too.
No, that's number one. I mean, when I interview people for my own personal companies, I think of, would I want to actually sit next to this person and work with them every day if they were next to me? Would I like be down to actually hang out with them? Even if they were less skilled than someone else I interviewed, if I'm willing to hang out with them outside, that's someone I want to hire. Yeah.
Right. Hey, speaking of hiring, man, so you've gone the entrepreneurial route, and now you have your own kind of web company, right? Like, so walk me through that. Like, what gave you the confidence to kind of like say, I'm ready to launch my own thing?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't confidence, man. I got laid off from my second mid-level job, which I was also burning out with, by the way, burning out at. And so what happened was I got laid off, and I just realized, you can get laid off at a company anytime, especially smaller companies, right? And I realized, you know what? I value myself more than any other company, and I have to make sure that, when I got laid off, it was like, how am I going to pay the rent for my parents? How are they going to eat? Not just me, because I'm helping take care of my parents now. So I had to do something to make sure that even if I lose a job, at least no matter what, rent's paid, the bills are paid, and there's food on the table. And so I figured I need to start something now, even though it's not successful yet, which is, let's start something. I want to start a company, right? And so what I did was, let me try to sell developer clothes. Boom, developer branded, right? That worked out. And then I figured, you know what? I have a pretty strong brand for my small following, so I'm going to try to start a web development company. And then boom, I didn't get clients for a minute, but then I got one client that was paying $80,000 a year, right? So which by the way, I left because I just couldn't handle working with them no more. But and you just get lucky, man. But it wasn't just luck though. I kept grinding, working honestly 80-hour weeks. And now I don't work 80 hours a week because I have a team of 7 people under me. Good. To make sure I don't do that no more. But yeah, I mean, that's how it started for me.
That's beautiful, man. Do you think that, like, so a lot of people go to like Coding Bootcamp or learn to code because they want to head down this entrepreneurial route. They want to make their own apps or things like that. Do you think like out of fresh out of Coding Bootcamp or after a couple of tutorials, you're ready to launch that, or what is that?
I don't see why not, right? I don't see why not try to build your own thing, but I think try to build your own thing while working for an actual company. And some people will be like, I don't want to work full time while trying to build my own thing. Then I'll tell you this, then you're not ready to be an entrepreneur. Because as an entrepreneur, it's not about how many hours you work, it's about the work you put in. As an entrepreneur, you need to be willing to work 80, 100 hours a week, because guess what? There are people who are willing to work harder than you, and because they're willing to work harder than you, you will be less successful than them. It's competition. For sure. Right? And so you have to be willing to put in more work. And if you have that mindset, don't even try to build your own thing. Yeah,
that's good, dude. Because like I think a lot of people view the entrepreneurial route like through the lens of like this like, oh, I'm gonna code a couple hours a day. I'm gonna be like, I'm on the beach. I'm chilling in my driving my Bugatti like down mountain
it's not
or
like
whatever.
That.
Like
I mean, if you get lucky down the line, I mean, in 5 years, actually no, in 2 to 3 years, I can buy a Rolls Royce or Ferrari, but I'm not, because I'd rather use that money for my business. Right. You know what I mean? You make that money, you want your business to grow more. So forget buying that for yourself. Keep buying something cheap. Like, I bought a Porsche, right? But I didn't buy brand new. Brand new, my Porsche would have been $70,000. I bought it for $37K. Right. And that's a pretty good price for a Porsche. I bought it used. It's 2017. It's not brand new. So, I mean, I bought a nice car, but I didn't go all out and buying the most expensive thing out there. I'd rather use my money for my business. And I'm using my money for my actual job. I don't touch money for my business ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was laughing about the car thing though, because we're looking at a new car, like a newer car too, and we're looking at a big old Ford Transit van, like those Sprinter vans.
That's like a 60K car, isn't it? $60,000. That's expensive.
It's expensive for sure. We're trying to buy a used one for sure, but it's not. I don't think it's that much, but it is expensive. I was like, I never thought I'd be thinking about buying a car like this.
Yeah.
But we have 6 kids, so it's kind of like,
dude, that's
gotta fit.
Bro, that's 6 kids.
Yeah.
Just get 2 cheap cars. Wait, that would work. 2 cheap cars.
We can just buy one of those like U-Haul car carriers, and just tow the other car behind us.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Wow.
For the win.
6 kids. Dang.
I do want to ask you though, man. So like you've had a ton of success like in YouTube and personal branding and so when I'm talking to people about sometimes like landing their first gig and landing their first jobs, I'm telling them, hey, start working on like your personal brand, like start putting your face out there, like start a YouTube channel, like start a blog, like, has personal branding ever helped you like land a gig? Do you feel like that's good advice?
It's the number one reason I am where I am today. So one thing that I did sacrifice the last 5 years was my technical skill. If I didn't have YouTube, I know for a fact I would have been as good as a principal developer, if not better, because I know my work ethic. But for some reason, I just really believe that, you know what? No, like I follow 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 and I follow him like everything he does. And one thing I really believed in was focusing on content will help me out in the long run. I may not see anything in my first 2, 3 years, 4 years, but after 4 or 5 years, maybe 6 or 7, the returns, the return, the ROI on that would be double, triple. And it happened. I mean, I used to make $45K a year. I make 6 times that amount now, right? So because I focus on content, and now that's my main job, right? I talked to my manager at New Relic, and I'm like, yo, like, you sure that this is what I'm doing? I mean, I've been here for 6 months already. You want me to continue making 3 blogs a week, do a podcast whenever I can, make a YouTube video, and stream on Twitch? Yep. Really? Yeah. And just make friends with people in the community. Yep. Okay. Right. So that's literally what I'm doing. And I'm going to do that for a long time.
That's beautiful, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is amazing, man. I super love that idea. Like, and so that you're a developer relations engineer. Is that the title?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So talk to us like about what that looks like and how does DevRel like benefit a company too?
I mean, honestly, as a developer, think of it like this. I don't know. Like, do recruiters ever reach out to you on LinkedIn? Or do you get emails from recruiters? Yeah, I get, like, for example, a recruiter from this one company reached out to me today saying, Chris, we're really interested in you. We want to interview you. We want you and stuff. And I get those emails every single day. Emails, messages on LinkedIn, DMs on Twitter, DMs on Instagram, everywhere, right? From recruiters for actual companies, not just recruiters. And the thing is, like, when you get so many of those emails, you just become numb to it. Does that make sense? Because why? They're just trying to grab your attention. But the same thing with products. A lot of software companies try to reach out to developers to sell stuff. And one thing that developers hate is being sold to. And developers are smart. Developers have money. It's not like we need to buy that stuff. You know what I mean? So the thing is, then how do you reach out to developers in a way where you're not annoying them or in a way where they're just numb to that? It's by people like us, where I don't sell a New Relic product. I never talk about their product. I'd say I work for New Relic and that's it. Even when I go to conferences, I don't sell the product. I just be myself. And so one way to reach out to a community that's annoyed of being sold to all the time is through what we do. And aside from that, right? Aside from that, like, when I go to conferences, I'm just making friends with all these people. And the people who never heard about New Relic before, who follow me, or for the new people who follow me in the future, will now know who New Relic is in a not so, what do you call that? In a non-aggressive way, right? Going like so that's what we do. And the results have been pretty good. It's kind of crazy how that works, but I'm gonna tell you this: I've been doing that exact same thing on YouTube for a long time. I shared this on Twitch the other day. I don't sell Treehouse. Like, I'll mention Treehouse here and there once in a while. I don't ever say in all my videos, and I don't say in every video, sign up for Treehouse. The link's in the description. I looked at my analytics on Treehouse, how many people are signed up over the last 5 years. I made Treehouse just by myself over $1 million.
That's wild, man.
Right?
That's crazy.
Right? So I made them over $1 million by myself alone. And I barely people will say, Chris, you always sell Treehouse. No, I don't. I'll mention them in videos here and there, but I barely ever mention them. The link's just there. So that's what I'm doing for New Relic now. I don't sell New Relic, but by New Relic being there in the long run,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, like, what does a day in like the dev, like in a DevRel like role look like?
It's different, man. So it's not a 9-to-5 job. Now our meetings start at 9 a.m. of course, right, in Pacific Standard Time. So for example, I have 6 meetings today, but for example, let's just say today I have 6 meetings, for example, or let's say I'm doing podcast interviews. I have another one after this too. And then whenever I have a 1 hour, 2 hour break, that's when I'll film between that. right? Or we'll have meetings on content meetings, or meetings on what we need to do at the next conference, what things we should focus on, what kind of content we want to focus on. And aside from that, aside from writing a blog, even my blogs aren't technical. It's just how to help people become a developer. Aside from that, man, I just build my brand. But it is good to note, though, not every DevRel team is like that. My team is very unique. Our goal is to lead the industry and doing it differently this way, and I really believe it's going to work. There are people who don't believe it, and people tell me they don't believe in it, and I'm like, yo, you're wrong, because I did that myself for Treehouse. Right?
It's true.
For the last 5 years, I made $100,000 from Treehouse. Just passive income, man, over the last 5 years. It's not much, like $20,000 a year, I guess. But that, I mean, I guess that adds up, right? So it works. Yeah. It worked for me when doing that for Treehouse. Why wouldn't it work me doing it for New Relic? In the long run, it'll work.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, man. Well, I think, I want to be respectful of your time here today too. But I've super enjoyed kind of like getting to know it. But like, if you could have a chance to speak to like, junior developers and they're looking to kind of hop into tech or wondering, is tech for them? Like, what do you think would be kind of that your charge? Like, hey, let's what would you say to them?
The industry is not saturated like everyone says, right? Maybe for juniors, right? Because there are only so many junior positions, but you need to fight for that. Yo, if you want to get paid 150, 100, 200K a year, 100K a year, your first 2 years as a dev or whatever, like, you need to fight for that. You get to skip college and get paid better than even like nurses or whatever, right? Like, you have to understand that there are millions of people in the world that want what you want. You need to show that you want it more, right? It's kind of like you're trying to sell something to investors. These companies who need a developer, you're trying to sell something to investors, and what are you selling yourself? You gotta show them what it is that make you stand out, how much harder you work, your portfolio, your projects, how much longer you study than other people, how you're passionate by maybe trying to help the community, right? You have to understand that it's hard as hell, but once you get your foot in the door, after 2 to 3 years, you're in forever. Unless you really just stop learning and become stagnant. Like, I'll have a career the rest of my life, and I don't ever plan on retiring. So, it's not easy, but dang, it is so worth it. So worth it. Yes.
100%, man. I super agree with that. I have some buddies that are like, some friends that are a little older and stuff, and like are doing like construction, right, or something like that, or even have another buddy, he owns a lawn care business. And those are all like great things to do, right? And developing is not for everyone, but I'm seeing the toll that it's starting to take, like on their bodies and on every day, and I'm like, this is a career you could do forever.
Really? Yeah. As long as your mind works, right? As long as your brain works, that's it. Like my day today, I had a meeting from 9 a.m. I had a meeting at 10 a.m., meeting at 11 a.m., right? 10:30. And then from 11 to 12:30, what I did today was just played NBA 2K21, right? And then I had another meeting after that. Then I played another game of NBA 2K21, and then I'm here with you. I have another meeting after this, and I start filming. I meet with my gym trainer at 3 p.m., and then I'll start filming, right? So, dude, I feel like I'm my own boss. I set my own schedule. As long as I get my work done, that's all that matters. Like, I feel like I'm a CEO right now because of all the freedom I have. It's worth it.
That's amazing.
It's worth it.
So
even my mom and stepdad are like, "Are you working?" I'm like, "Yeah." Wait, how many meetings do you have today? Some days I'll have like, 0 meetings. What are you gonna do today? I did everything I need to do, so I'm just gonna relax and game all day. Like that's the life, but you have to work for that. Right.
Yeah. Your tenacity, man, and after all the stuff you've been through and the hours you've put in. You kind of get to a place where you've earned it, man. So good on you, dude. For
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So Chris, man, how can we find you? How can we get in touch with you? Like, some people, I highly recommend your channel, obviously, but tell some people how to get a hold of you.
Just Google Chris Sean, then you'll find me. Yeah, just type Chris Sean. It's real Chris Sean everywhere. But just that's it.
That's awesome, man. Dude, well, hey, I wanna say thank you for coming on and hanging out with me. And man, I just appreciate all you've given to the community. I think and I'm glad it's paying dividends in your life right now.
I appreciate it. Thanks, man.